Good morning, everyone. Dr. FJ, Q&A. Sorry about last week. Some technical difficulties here. So we got a question. I'm wondering how you handle the new patient that's always been to Kairos for 30 years and they just need a few quick cracks and then they're good to go for a year or two. Also, I've really struggled to find, well, let's address that. Okay. So that patient, it kind of depends, right? A lot of it depends on where they're at symptomatically. If they're in a lot of pain, then I'm going to go about explaining you know, connective tissue changes over time. And lots of times what you did at 20, you cannot do anymore at 30 or 40 or 50. And I'll just pre-warn them, like usually at some point that is no longer enough for people. And the problem is you may not have pain for years, but that connective tissue, the discs, are degenerating. And so I'll use the degeneration and show them like this is most likely where you're headed. Uh, Now, if they're really like healthy and fit and they are not in much pain, then I will say, hey, we can try it. I'm happy to try it for you. I think you're going to be unhappy with the results. As long as there's someone they're reasonable and enjoyable to be around. I just had a guy the other week was just super rude, kind of a jerk to everyone. So I just told him to go to a different office. I was like, this isn't worth it. He's fighting me on everything. He's an asshole to my staff. So I was like, I just said, listen, anyone in town can do this for you. And most people are in network with your insurance. I think you should, just try them. This isn't really what we do. And all the best. So because every now and then you get outliers, right? And they do just get a couple adjustments and they do really well. And it just boggles your mind. And then they're, or at least they feel good for a while. But I just always pre-warn them. Like I just usually at some point this isn't going to be enough. We specialize in, and I always go like it's upper cervical chiropractic is what I do, or whatever you specialize. And it's all about, getting the head on straight to center your body in gravity and really make objective changes. Because what I've found is if you play the quick crack pain game, eventually you quit responding to that. And some points there's so much damage. Now you need so much care that we could have avoided years ago with just some regular adjustments. So that's typically, and lots of times those people, no one has ever offered them a plan. Everyone is just kowtowed to them. Like, oh, okay, sure, sure, yeah, just please don't go somewhere else. Yeah, yeah, we'll give you the few quick cracks. That's fine. As no one's ever just sat them down and be like, okay, I'm happy to do that for you if that's what you want. It's your body. We'll do what you want. I don't think you're going to be happy with those results. Definitely at some point, almost everyone I've found, they quit responding to that. Degeneration and whatnot can build up silently. And then lots of times, those are the people that bend down to pick up a pencil and now they're in severe pain. And no, this didn't start bending down to pick a pencil. It was 20, 30 years of neglect. So this is what we specialize in, X, Y, and Z. We're going to go through the x-rays, go through exam. I'll give you my recommendations. If you don't want to do it, that's fine, no problem. Again, it's your body, but I want you to know what it would take to really make some change. And then I'll go through the x-rays, go through, I think it's going to take whatever, 20, 24 visits over the next 3 months. Uh, you can pay per visit. You can pay up front. That's going to be whatever, 2,400 bucks. You can break it an auto debit. That is whatever, 1,000 a month, whatever it is. And then some will do per visit, and that's fine. And you can say, okay, that's fine. It's going to be whatever your full fee is. It's going to be 50 or it's going to be 75 or it's going to be 90, 100. And we'll see, we'll see where we're at. And you can do that. And I do every now and then have some people they get, I would, and then the other thing with those people is I do always try to talk them into like at least do once or twice a month. Let's do that. Commit to that for a little bit. It will be worth it for you. But some people just pop in, get a couple, and they're gone. But they usually do at some point, have a blowout, need a lot more, and then, but then you pre-warned them, right? Because they're like, I've had people like, yeah, you told me this is gonna happen, and then they'll do the prepay. So lots of times, always do what you do, go through your process, explain what you do, explain what you think is best for them. Always go through the ideal situations, whatever that is with where they're at 20, 18, 24, 30 visits. Um, And if they, that's why the per visit option is there, right? They can pay full fee, get a couple of adjustments, and see how things go. Um, but just by offering it, you can't believe how many people say things like that and then they commit to a plan. And lots of times, no one's ever walked them through the process, no one's ever explained anything, and no one's ever offered. And then you're not trying to scare them, just be a doctor and recommend what's best and be honest. Like, listen, if we don't do anything, especially most of these people aren't going to do yoga and mobility work for 30 minutes a day, right? So it's just going to degenerate and degenerate and degenerate. And then at 60, now we've got so much work to do. And lots of times there, you can only go back so far if there's just extensive damage. So that's how I handle those. I know it's not an exact, but a lot of it is just variable per person to person. But the best way is to be like, it's your body. We'll do whatever you want, but I want you to know, what we specialize in and what would be, I think, ideal to get you in the best shape possible. And then again, looking at quality of life limitation and all the basics that we go through. And then recommend if they decide they just want to get a couple, that's why the per visit option is there. If they're an enjoyable, reasonable person, then I'm happy to take care of them for full fee a couple times. And then they pay whatever, the 50, the 95, the 100, 150, whatever is normal in your area, and you get a couple adjustments. And some of those people, they'll come in once a month for a long time. Some will just pop in occasionally, but they will refer to you. They'll come back to you. And lots of those people at some point quit, they need more, and you were the one that told them. You were the first doctor that was honest and upfront with them in a friendly and professional way. Okay. You really struggled to find a good CA. Seems like waste a lot of time and money trying to go through Indeed and have to go through hundreds of applications to find a few decent candidates. Any suggestions? What hours do you guys recommend to be open? Indeed, other than referrals from people working in the office, Indeed has been where I've gone, but it is insane how many applicants you get and how many of them are a waste of time. I know that sucks. You might want to start with just some doing phone and see who shows up, or just do a group interview to start and have 20 people or whatever you can fit come in all at once, and 15 won't show and five will show. And then you can go through everything, have them fill out the application, explain the office, explain your hours, explain the benefits, explain what you do, and then set up one-on-one interviews for the people to show. The group interviews are nice, but I agree. But that's the only place I've found decent candidates. If you have a good LinkedIn following, you could try putting up on LinkedIn. If you're in any networking groups with businesses, you could talk to them if they know people. But Indeed, I know it's tough, but that's the only place. And lots of times you got to offer a wage. Like I'm up to like 22 to 24 an hour to just get anyone decent to show. But that's what I know, it's a lot. And it's the only thing I've wanted. And I know it's a lot of wasted time and energy, but I'd fly through, send an email, set up a group interview, and just get through, see who shows, talk to them, and do them at like 8 in the morning, like I always like saying, or then you see who's going to actually show up for work. Uh, so that's always nice. But that's all. I get it's tough. I get it's tough. Everyone's having a hard time. But that's the only place I've found. And you got to pay enough, and then yeah, the group interview though, or a phone interview. Phone interviews can be if you're going to call 20 people, it's so much. So I would just set up a group interview. I don't know how big your office is, what you can hold, but just maximize what you can hold there. So like get in 15, 20 people. Um, no. Sorry about that. So yeah, I would just go group interview. And as many people as you can get, you do. And and then you got to fight through there. And then when you get someone good, you just got to hold on to them as best you can. Um, so I know it's tough, but that's it. And then I usually got to just keep raising the fees till you get someone that's decent. Like I said, LinkedIn, if you have a good following, you could look at that. What hours do I recommend being open? A little bit depending on your area, but for most areas, before and after lunch. So like an 8 to 11, and then like a 3 to 6. Usually you got to be open after work, even in the modern, more and more people are going back into work every day. The work from home, less and less people are doing. So I like that. So like a Monday, 8 to 11, 3 to 6, or 9 to 12, 3 to 6. It's nice to have a longer lunch, and then you have times before and after for reports. Um, then I like a Tuesday morning off for administrative work is nice. So like a Tuesday afternoon, then you could do a 3 to 6 or a 2 to 5, however you want to do that. Wednesday, I would do the same as Monday. Thursday, again, I would have another late, like 3 to 6. And then Friday morning, like 8 to 11 or 9 to 12 again. And those are really nice. You give people, the Medicare people, lots of times like that 10 to 12, the older people. In the school year, lots of times the moms and the kids like right after school at 3 to 4:30. In the summer, lots of times they like late morning. And then the workers, either you got to be available before work. I have a lot of people that go into Milwaukee to work. So my 4:30 to 6, it's not what it used to be. Pre-COVID, 4:30 to 6 was jamming. Like jamming. Now it's more people are going to work. We still do have some that work from home a lot more than pre-COVID. So they like usually late morning as well or early afternoon. Um, but those hours we've done and recommended for most people. Now, if you're in a major city like Manhattan or something, lots of times over lunch is packed. Or if, my one of my where I interned, Dr. John in New Jersey, a lot of his people went into New York City to work. So his like 6:30, 7 a.m. was slammed. Um, but across the board, those hours work really well for getting people in, being convenient and available, also giving you and your team time to get everything done and maintaining your energy. I just talked to a doc and he's getting tired and he was doing Monday full day, Wednesday full day, Friday full day, Tuesday and Thursday uh late afternoons. And so we got rid of his Friday afternoon. And he's loving it. He's feeling way better. So Uh, so yeah, if you're gonna do a Friday afternoon, if that's super busy, then I would take a Tuesday or Thursday and be off completely. But I like having the 2.5 day weekend. My staff loves having that. So um, that works really, really well for me. So that's what I would recommend. I appreciate the questions. I hope that helped. If there are any other questions, let me know. Have a great week, a great month, and keep charging.